Hello people, Libluini here. I thought I made a little status update for my channel, so before you get excited, I'm not starting Distant Worlds 2. I actually planned on doing so, but when I tried to make this little uh, starting video here and wanted to add some commentary on what I was planning for my channel and all that shit, I had to learn the hard way that apparently my headset and this game don't really like each other. I had this strange problem that for the longest time I thought my headset was broken, but no, testing with other shit like YouTube showed that no, everything works perfectly fine, just not in this game. So you might hear some clicking noises from me looking at the different Galaxy options you can take here, but that's it. No sound, no music. It's kind of spooking me. Music is on and everything. Was listening to the music while dealing with my weird audio issues, but nope. For some reason, this game just wants to use my big outside speakers. But of course, if I run them and then switch on my mic, then things will get really weird on your end. So eventually, I managed to just force the game to accept at least my mic. And then I confirmed that my headset was working and switched the outside thing back on. I even managed to override somehow the game's ability to let me to choose my my normal speakers instead of the headset, despite Windows telling the game to not do this. I didn't even knew this kind of thing was possible. I'm kind of baffled because this was not a problem I was expecting seriously. But anyway, just look at how bad my computer is. Distant Worlds 2, by the way, is one of the few space strategy games that gives you a warning if it thinks that your computer is underpowered. So sadly, I can only use the smallest and the second smallest sections. Well, for a small game, 500 stars are kind of okay, I guess. Of course, with the second smallest options, I can't really use any of the bigger maps. They are locked because it wouldn't make sense to, I guess, spread tiny amounts of. Okay, I should probably start from the beginning in this game. Uh, you need fuel to get somewhere, and if you start the game, you don't have a lot of fuel and range, therefore. So if you do something stupid like 300 stars and then the biggest map, then regardless of what you choose as an option, there is a high chance that you will be unable to visit most of those stars, and then you are just bad luck. I mostly like irregular maps because they simulate the feeling of just being in a star cluster inside a larger galaxy. Whereas if you take a spiral or something, you have this weird shit that you're pretending that these 500 stars represent all the stars that are important in this galaxy of 400 billion of them, which is a bit silly. And then there are for special needs, all those weird as fuck spirals and double spirals and dual rings. I guess it's fun to use them sometimes. Elliptical is also something I like because there are some star clusters like this, and you could pretend you're in a globular cluster, so of course it might be better represented by something that's just a big ring with nothing in it, I think, because globular clusters, for those who don't know, are often the remnants of galaxies. Our galaxy, or the mother galaxy in general, just ate. Over time, all the stars are stripped off except of the core region, which is similar to our main galaxy, just a bunch of black holes in the middle, and then an ultra dense cluster of millions of giant suns all squeezed together. There are sometimes just light months That's basically nothing between neighboring stars or even less. So stable planetary systems can't form. Therefore, your chance of getting life forms is basically zero. The hypothetical I can come up with for how this still works is, like anything big and scary, there might be a small halo of stars gripped by the gravity of the globular cluster still hanging around, or star systems close to the edge might have good conditions for harboring life, but yeah, mostly a globular cluster is something like naked galaxy cores, and galactic cores are not really a region you want to visit if you want to stay alive, and correspondingly, the life forms have a hard time evolving there. It's astronomically just a death zone, basically. This map, for example, gets close to this. You have one ring you could say is the representation of a sphere in the halo region of a globular cluster. The second ring is basically the edge of that cluster, and the nothing in the middle. In the middle is the death zone, where there are only big black holes and suns with far too much radiation for your peace of mind. So this would be one possibility. Or you can take one of those varied clusters, especially the irregular ones, and this is basically how a basic star cluster inside of the galaxy is. It's just a bunch of stars close together, and then there are bigger holes here and there. In some parts of the galaxy, they're even mixing with each other. So theoretically, you could go to the edge, and then there is either hundreds of light years of nothing if you're unlucky, or it's already intermingling with the next star cluster over. It's a bit chaotic, especially since all of these stars aren't just sitting there, they are moving at high speeds orbiting the galactic center. And of course, every star has another orbit, and so they are slowly changing positions. So you get those clusters, so, but millions of years later, they might be looking like this instead, for example. So, while I'm testing out these settings, let's just go with one of these rings, and the second tiniest. And then let's say, hmm, let's spread them around a bit. Oh, wait, now they are showing up in the middle. Fuck, no. Normal? That's a bit dense. Okay, interesting. Well, let's keep it at dense, because this means not only are there some little gaps for fun, it also means that there is actually an empty center like I wanted. That's very sparse. Oh yeah, that's getting mixed a bit. Sparse, okay. At normal, you slowly get an empty middle, and now it's basically free. It's still a bit mixed, but hey, globular clusters, like anything in space, is not really an artificial artifact, so a little bit of chaos is completely normal. So anyway, my channel. So, I really want to do this whole the thing with 2 days of streaming each week again. Health issues and my laziness came in, of course, and were victorious. Also, I have some sleep problems because while I don't have to work on Wednesday, uh, I do have to work on Thursday, so having a stream on Wednesday evening is kind of stupid, really. So I am trying to change things to Tuesday, and probably only 3 times a month instead of 4 times, because I'm still under hospital treatment. I don't have to sleep there, luckily, but I have to go there once a month. And since it's an A treatment, just say that I'm probably not able to use a computer at all on one Tuesday a month. But I guess 3 streams per month would be a big update to what I'm normally doing. So I will be trying this starting next week with my role-playing game streams resuming on Tuesday evening. And of course, I will try to keep the Friday stream alive, currently running No Man's Sky just because of the stupid pun of "No man, it's Sky Day night." Yeah, I have no apologies for that. I just like this stupid pun. Also, one of my role-playing streams got lost and exterminated. Turns out that if Sony tells me the stream is up and running, this might be a lie. So now I have to start the stream and then make sure that my PC is up on and YouTube switched on so I can confirm that I'm indeed streaming from my PlayStation and not just dreaming it. But anyway, that means my next role-playing stream will be a bit odd because I have to go through all the cutscenes you have been missing and show them to you again, while hopefully thinking up new snarky comments. Everything I said in that lost stream is otherwise lost forever. So the reason why I can do this is because Odin Sphere Live Trazier is cool in that you can just go back into the archives and look at the cutscenes, the story cutscenes again if you want to. All the gameplay, of course, is lost. I would have to play that entire chapter again, and considering my gaming backlog, that seems to be a really bad idea for a little fun stream. So we're jumping over that, but the stream will be a bit longer anyway, because you'll be seeing first block all the missing cutscenes from the lost stream. And then I'll start playing, and because I've moved it to Tuesday evening, I can actually stream a bit longer because I can sleep on Wednesday, luckily. And Friday is okay, it can be continuing because I can sleep on Saturday. Perfect. So, by the way, we should probably Galaxy expansion is set to pre-warp. Oh yeah, that's fun. I always liked it if I have the option to just fuck around with supply chips for a while before things are starting. So Galaxy aggression, let's make a peaceful galaxy. And easy, because I keep going back to Stellaris instead of playing this game. I'm ashamed of this, really. Then hostile races, near placement. Please keep them. I can't even read this shitty eyes. Fuck. Extreme. New player. Normal. Some more. Many extreme. Oh, okay. This is kind of backwards. So, hostile races near player. You can choose to have lots of hostile places or the normal amount, whatever that is. So, and then I can have the research speed set to normal. Well, I'm on a fairly normal map, but also something when playing strategy games like this one, if you make things fast, please remember this is a game and the tech you can research is limited. So if you start on a small map, normal is okay. If it's even tinier, okay, you can probably go too fast. Very fast is in most cases a bad idea in most of these games. Slow is probably for bigger maps and very slow, and if that's not enough, extremely slow for the hugest maps, because if you have like 5,000 stars and maybe set up 3 enemies, that will be taking a long while until you even meet. And if you put something off very fast, you probably get a lot of weapons that will never see a use because you keep obsoleting it. And of course, halfway through the game, no one will gain any new technology whatsoever because the tech tree is full. Then you have shit like research, visibility. Are the next projects visible or all projects visible? I was always asking why you want to see all projects all at once. I guessing if you want to test something. Otherwise, why not? Of course, it makes it harder to plan, but hey, if you're role playing a real civilization, it's not like God comes down and hands our researchers a long plan of possible technologies that we can get if we follow one after another step. Like, it would be probably cute because, holy shit, imagine if researching better citrus fruits would lead us to develop faster than light travel. We would never do this if we wouldn't know that citrus fruits are step one. But, alas, neither video games nor real life are quite that silly. So it's completely legit to just look up the next step on the list and then make some guesses what you need next. Then random research paths and the fixed research paths. Okay, the random research paths is a bit funny because it seems incredibly silly. What the fuck are you doing? Randomizing your research paths? I mean, the silliest combination would be all projects visible and then go random, because then the first step is completely pointless, because as soon as you start, you can see all your random research paths now laid out for you perfectly. Sometimes I'm wondering what my fellow space strategy game players are thinking. But anyway, I like these two settings, fixed research paths because that makes the most sense, and only the next project visible because that also makes sense. Tech trading, it's on. The reason why you want to sometimes switch this thing off is because if you play against a computer, well, the problem is even the best AI programming in space strategy games can be easily be trounced by a real human player just sitting back and thinking a bit harder. And tech trading can often be abused. If you find something that some kind of method of diplomacy that works on a computer player, then it will always work, and then you can just drain them of all useful technologies and become super powerful. So the counterpart is, of course, if AI players like each other, they will also tech trade like mad. But how this works is basically game dependent. So I haven't played Distant Worlds too much, so I have no idea how insane this can get. I do know that in Space Empires 5, it often feels like three enemy empires are fusing together like an unholy blob because the AI seems to have trouble getting the concept of different civilizations if the alliance between computer enemies gets too close. You developers even gave you something later along the lines of patches that's something like what was it called? Something like Super Evil Empire option or something. I forgot the exact name, but it's a red warning label. Then if you click on it, basically takes all the computer enemies that you've put into the game and mangles them together into some kind of unholy union where the computer basically just treats them like extensions of the war of one big empire. Then you're in a trouble. Especially since one of the superpowers you can give in a civilization is shit like, oh, the entire map is known. So if you mangle all those computer players together, then of course every single one is your enemy and knows where you are, and then you have some problems. Holy shit. You can basically doom yourself, especially as there will be freely sharing technologies and coordinate political espionage strikes against you, so that's fun. Well, not really. It was as an option primarily for multiplayer because at some point people actually complained that when a player leaves the game and leaves a badly managed computer empire behind, and they're basically just fodder for everyone. But anyway, I'm talking too much. So, Friday streams, Tuesday streams, what else? Oh, yeah, I'm trying to get through my backlog of recordings for Dominion 6. I've kind of have been insane there. Let's ferry a few pirates. They can regrow anyway. And let's make them weak because they're insanely strong normally. And they should be distant, which, by the way, since a single star system is already a huge amount of space, this basically means that if you're lucky, the pirates will be in a nearby system instead of hanging around directly next to your homeworld. So, pirate standard, stay dead. Pirate factions can be completely destroyed. And respawn means occasionally there will be respawn. Also, it's the destruction of complete. Well, pirates are fairly strong in this game, so let's leave it like this. Otherwise, I would make them even weaker and it gets silly. Space creatures. Well, there are actually many, and since this is a peaceful galaxy, let's make very few of them. It still means that there are actually a lot. So it's just that it's very few from the viewpoint of the developers. Anyway, Dominion 6. So what I'll be doing is I will slowly walk through my backlog, and really I have to be careful about Dominion 6 in the future because, see, one of the problems is with Dominions, it's such a complicated thing for the poor AI players to understand that while you certainly can have fun playing alone, you'll be not learning much because the computer players are kind of limited in their understanding of how everything works. Whereas the average human player will come up with all those batshit crazy plans and strategies and completely blindside you with weird shit. And of course, it incentivizes you to do the exact same thing. It's basically challenging you more, and it's funnier this way. Even losing is fun if you're getting hit by something that's completely ludicrously insane. So this of course means there is a problem, because if you are in a multiplayer game, you're of course playing at the speed of everyone, and of course this means you have to keep recording new videos, even if maybe for some reason, maybe health related, I don't know, you might be unable to process those videos into uploadable episodes fast enough. So, colony range, well, I'll leave it at standard for now. This is basically a million units or something. It's a couple light years, I think, at medium setting. And influence range. Well, this is a smaller map, so we can have all at standard. When you take bigger maps, I have to take into account that sometimes there's a lot of empty space between viable planets. And yeah, so if a colony is too far away, you can't colonize that planet. Might be leading to a lot of gaps. And the influence range is basically your empire's borders. You might be in trouble if there is some place that you really want to mine out and it's just outside your borders. And then we have independent colonies. Let's make them very rare, because that's a huge thing. And let's make this here rare. Colony prevalence. Things in general with planets and moons to be general quality. Oh, okay, so it makes them just better or shittier. So for our medium to small map, let's make it more. We have to take into account here, smaller the map is and the smaller the number of stars, the more you should go to the right here. Because otherwise the random number generator of a 4x game might make things a bit awkward. You might end up with far less planets than you accounted for. On bigger maps with more stars, of course, you have to go into the other direction. Except for two things. First, if your PC was made by God and can process everything ever made and will be ever be made, then of course, go crazy, go here, giant map, very abundant. Now I have millions of things to do. You will still go crazy, but if your PC is awesome, you might work still. So especially if you go back and take one of the options where the game warns you that your computer is too shit, you might want to go into this direction instead. We already have a small map, so I'm taking a guess, a little gamble, and stay at normal. But of course, independent colonies are actually planets you can find on Earth still already have a stable civilization on it, and it's a huge boost to everyone. So it's a good idea to keep things normal and keep it very rare, especially since on bigger maps the number generated will still go up because there is just more real estate to place them in. And then things might get silly if you go into the wrong direction here. Basically, this is my opinion in this little test setup right now. Normally I can say, okay, yeah, small map, tiny map, go here. Make the map bigger, go here. Make the map smaller, go here. That's reasonable. I'm just being cheeky here because I want to make a pure one with less boosts for everyone. Then colony prevalence. Again, this just makes plans better or worse. I have it at this. And if I make the map even smaller, I should go this way to prevent things getting silly. And of course, bigger maps means going into this direction. It's also good for your CPU. It's less load this way, maximum load, especially when things get rolling. And of course, you have to think of yourselves. Yeah, you're not a computer yourself. So let's say that on a map like this, you have like 20 colonies eventually on this setting. This it's more like 30, here it's more like 50. Here it's maybe 15, here maybe 10. That's still a lot of work in this game. So this is already a bit of a risk here on my side, because if I actually end up playing this game on this save, this might already be a bit too much for a single human being to deal with. At least there are automatization options, so it's not as bad as in all the Space 4X games. Okay, that's it. So anyway, Dominion 6. So on my channel, I already have some videos prepared. So I shall be uploading today the next part of my late age Kalong run, where we are playing as bird people trying to take over the world in the name of CCP, the developer of EVE Online. Yeah, I know. I love my stupid gimmicks. It makes things funnier, I think. And my science fiction strategy games will probably be a lot less gimmicky because I like science fiction more than fantasy. Sorry to learn that you have to learn it this way. Anyway, players, just take one. Well, all of the others are cute. I actually like insects a little bit more, but I also like, well, not humans. No, we are already humans. Why do we have to play as humans all the time? Yeah, we have all those weirdos here. I think I've bought all of the expansions already. I like that the Xenox are not just cats, but cats with alien attributes. Even though it's a bit weird. Like, oh yeah, they have more eyes than two, and they have more ears than two. It's okay. It's valid. I'm reading the German science fiction series Perry Roden, and they have things like rotating meat pyramids with a head that looks like a bubble of water on top. So go more alien. It's science fiction, my friends. You aren't like limited to Star Trek rules here. And I love the Ticans. They're cute, smelly rodents. I've smelled some rodents. As long as they are clean, it's not too bad. And I think this is just written from a very speciesist or racist standpoint here, because they're not cleaning themselves regularly. Dudes, they're living on a sand desert planet. They're probably cleaning themselves with sand, not with water. They're probably very clean. There could, of course, be some kind of pheromonic interactions that makes them seem stinky to other aliens. We don't know. I like them. They are little desert engineers, little desert rats. I love these little buggers. The ships also look kind of nice. It's kind of sad that everyone in this game is bound to their own ship designs, but hey, maybe you see some other ships eventually. And we have these numbers, colonization stability. Yeah, there are a lot of deserts. It's plus 40 for them. Desert and savanna. Okay, that's dry enough. Still good for them. Rocky desert. 15. Oh, yeah, they prefer the sand to dig in, don't like big rocks and mountains and all that shit. Then, of course, continental. Yeah, not enough deserts. Forest. Even less deserts, but equivalent. Then grasslands. So, still a different taste of continental here. Then marshes from, no, it's getting wet. They don't like this. They like the sand. Ocean. Similar problem, not enough desert on all these islands. Mangrove forest, same thing again, just slightly different. Then we have the deep ocean planets where there are probably even less islands. Now it's minus 20. I think, are there something like volcano planets or something? I think they can't colonize them at all, at least the beginning. Then we have some bonuses. They can mine extremely well. They have good damage control, so it takes longer to completely destroy their ships. Their repair rate is stellar, so if you don't kill their fleets instantly, they will just repair their ships fast. Trade income, which is actually very useful in this game, because you're very money dependent in this game. Ship construction speed is insanely fast, so even if your little desert rats take huge losses, they can repair and rebuild their fleets fast. Can also build planetary facilities really fast. So to be fair, in this game, planetary facilities are rare and expensive, both in building and maintaining. It's not something you do on a whim. Bombardment resistance is fairly high, probably because you're digging underground in the desert wastelands. Then ground combat resistance, similar reason. Probably have to dig in into their tunnels, and that's just insane. On the other hand, their ground troops are fairly shitty in offensive actions. I guess if you attack someone by dropping armed rats on them, they will just love themselves to death or something. Anyway, then we have special features. Rapid modular construction. All ships, bases, and planetary fertility facilities are built 30 times faster than normal. Oh yeah, it's just the same thing just with text. Okay, and then next, natural traders, +5 threshold to sign new trade treaties. Well, okay, but I think this is more useful when you encounter them. I'm not sure this helps us as the player. But hey, maybe it helps with the AI still. Maybe they like us more then. Nomadic population. Yeah, that means they have an easier time traveling around. And they are dispersed in underground, blah blah blah. Yeah, yeah. Basically just an explanation for why they have this bonus. Nothing new here. Desert dwellers. Yeah. So this means they basically have insane guerrilla powers because they are all hiding in the deserts and attack you at night and all that shit. So, yeah, that's nice. So, again, if they're fighting on desert planets in the defensives, they're extremely hard to take on. Surprisingly, since they're just cute rats, but you probably get less out of them if you're trying them on enemy planets. And there are galactic nomads. Yeah, that's the population transport thing. I hope, to be fair, even though I have made the text as big as possible, my disability still makes it a bit hard to read the text I'm seeing here. Render time, blah blah blah. New quality is established. Migration draw is increased for 5 years, which is fucking long in this game since it's one of these continuously running games. And basically, each day is a tick and a timer where stuff is calculated. Great backdoor hunt. Yeah, T-Cans loves their backdoors. They're hunting them, which means more credits for salvage kings. Yeah, they are little engineers, so they will salvage a lot of shit. And this is something you as the player have to take into account if you use too many manual actions on your automation window, because yeah, you have to remind yourself that you can do a lot of salvaging as the T-Can. Then fragile hulks. All military ships are 20% smaller, making them more fragile in combat. That's interesting. I keep forgetting this, probably because in the games I had, I never made it to the part where there are big battles. I guess it's a little counter to the our ships are extremely fast to build and easy to repair kind of thing. And at least it means they are like physically smaller but still crammed to the brim with the same thing. It's an interesting idea, I have to say. So the ships are actually not smaller. I don't think I have seen at least no difference in internal volume, but but it translates to them being more easily breakable, I guess, because the tiny hulls have all the same shit squeezed into a far smaller volume, making it so the internals are taking more damage faster. It's interesting and it's plausible, and it's probably less annoying than actually making the ship smaller and forcing the player to have less shit. Unique leader trait Wanderer. Plus 20% leader quality, causing more rapid skill progression. Ah, okay, that's kind of good. I guess wandering means more experience. Huh? Unique leader trait, Haggler. Plus 5% trade income. I've actually never seen those. I think the last time I played the Tika, my first few leaders had some kind of combat and research bonuses instead. Still useful, but Tinkerer. I've also not seen this plus 5% high-tech research for industrial research. That's actually kind of useful because the T can have more industrial research by default. You see this game is fairly complex. There's a lot of shit going on here. Spy trade. Unnoticed. Better concealment. They're tiny rats and cute looking, and even the aliens notice this and ignore them. It's kind of funny. And they have their own growth resources. That's the Danta fur. They like the fur of the Danta so much that if they kill enough of them, they get frisky with each other. Yeah, there are a lot of resources that have not much reason to exist except for tiny bonuses here and there and more money. Then starting researchers. We have early ion weapons, which is good at disabling ships, I think. Early area weapons, which is always something that makes me make a frowny face, because if you see the ships whittling around on a map, you're getting concerned about friendly fire. One of the first things I'm doing when starting a game is looking at my designs auto-generated by the game. And more often than not, the earlier escort ships are often filled, at least for the Tikan, with early area effect weapons. And that's something that has me wondering if I send like a swarm of the tiny ships in and they're swarming around and shooting, will they all kill themselves? It's sadly not explained anywhere if area of effect is only affecting the enemy or if you can blow yourself up. Probably the latter, because it's a Space Fox game. You can expect a little bit more realism here. Ground combat, oh, that's good. Yeah, because of their desert militia, so you kind of have to have this. They have already expanded and enhanced civilian ships and civilian. Yeah, okay, so all very useful. And then the Tikan tag, the Super Ion Bomb. Okay, I have to take a look at this. The Ion Bomb and the Grapple Beam. So the Grapple Beam I never looked at actually, and the Ion Bomb is the one thing that makes me concerned. Because I prefer ion pulse weapons in some shit like this. Disallowed tag. The ion pulse is actually not allowed. Okay, that's interesting. I guess alien mines and all that shit. Medium Starfighter Bay is also not allowed. I actually never looked at this because I never got that far. But I guess it's the problem is the Tikan are already so tiny. Them trying to control anything bigger than a light starfighter is kind of silly. I guess if I have big carrier battles, I have to take this into account. Just swarm everyone with tiny versions. Interesting. I will have to take a look out to see if this means the tech tree will go from light to heavy starfighter base immediately, or if it's just interrupted and can't progress because the Tikan can only make light fighters and nothing more. Long range tractor beams are small, are also disallowed. Man, alien mines. So, raise victory conditions. Oh yeah, those you can change around, so that's kind of irrelevant. Mercantile Guild. This is actually makes sense because they're good traders. The Mercantile Guild is a government system that gives you bonuses to trading, so you can make more monies. And then you have a list of allowed governments. So let's see. Democracy could also work. Feudalism, okay. Monarchy, military. Yeah, okay. It's refugee fleet. Okay, that's a thing where you don't have a planet. Don't do this if you play this game for the first time. Military dictatorship. It's a really bad idea for the Tikan because it limits your ability to trade. And with so many bonuses in trade, it's like an extra challenging one, I guess. We have the default infantry trooper, the Trapper Group. That's a funny name. It's basically infantry, size 4000. So basically, it has 4000 soldiers. Let's assume that's close. I have some basic values, and then which races do we like? Well, problem is we don't really like anyone. And of course, the bigger and scarier they are, the more we don't like them. At least as a player, this is less of note for us since I, as the player, make the decisions here. So unless I am making the grave error of automating diplomacy, there is no trouble here. And then the most disliked races. Well, the Diode are monstrous spiders. Mortal are basically dinosaurs. Boscaria, the evil bad guys of the setting. So big scary aliens are of course scaring the tiny little rodents even more. Let's take, for example, someone else, someone big and scary probably, like those insect monsters here, the Gitsurian. So let's see. Yeah. So let's look here. Whoops. No idea what this was. So yeah, the most liked races. Wow. Okay, they even hate their friends, and then they hate everyone even more. Okay, they are absolute bastards. Here you see their difficult. Their infantry unit is the War Swarm. They even have more individuals, which basically is like more hit points for this unit. The defense is 148. Let's see what do our Tekken have. Up. 98. Yeah, okay. You can see we actually need all those Trapper Keeper powers by fighting in the desert because our units aren't that good, especially compared with combat monsters like the Githerian. Uh, so attack power is also far larger than ours. So you see, despite all the bonuses that are listed above, if you look at the actual stats of your combat units, you have to be careful to not fight guys like the ones that utterly outclass you. This year, the Diode, they even higher attack strength because they are huge monster spiders. So yeah, so as they have their units are bigger, that means more hit points. They have higher defense, insanely high defense. Whoa, holy shit, it's almost 200. And they have the highest attack power of our three testing objects here. They also hate a lot of races. Good news is if any race doesn't show up here, it's either not in the game or it's neutral. As you can see, they hate their friends lately less than the Githerians, who apparently have trouble even liking themselves at those levels. And they hate everyone, but it's not that insane. Minus 80%, it's not too bad. You can still probably get along with them if you conquer their planets and force them at gunpoint to be civilized. But yeah, they're big assholes. That's Xenox at least. Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at stuff. Don't freak out on me, game. So the Xenox are arrogant bastards, so they have also everything in the negatives here. But it's at least understandable. You get close to good conditions with some races. And even the ones they hate the most are at maximum minus 50%. So even the Xenox at their worst aren't as hateful as those insect guys and the big spiders. Let's go. The Vicarus. They are large crustaceans. Yeah. So, what actually are humans doing in this game? Well, let's move on here. Their infantry. So their defense is also fairly high. The attack is fairly high. Yeah, like the big spider monsters. Yeah, that's very balanced. Well, so the Strike Trooper Brigade is, I think, I, yeah, this game is made by humans. Do you think there might be a little bias here? I mean, as you can see, the Tekken are cute, but they're not really big fighters here. Even all of the bonuses that get stacked on, they're easily trampled. Most liked races. Yeah, as we can see, the game is kind of biased in the direction of warfighting here. Even the Zekuran, which basically look like hot Amazon babes, are at minus 10%. And everyone else, the other big good guys of the setting are all at 20%. Then everyone else has some hate. But good news, some people like the Xenox aren't here, so this means they're either in between those two values or neutral. With this game, you never know. As you can see, humans don't like big spiders, insects, or just looking. I've totally forgotten which these guys are. Can we find some here? Uh, nope. Are the Sluken not the main player race? Or is there... Fuck, I should look up if I missed a new DLC or something. But yeah, they're not here. The Mortalen, basically uh, extremely creepy dinosaur guys. They eat people, I think. That's the problem here. Defense and attack power is better than humans. I would hope so, considering they're big T-Rexes. They're like the Mortalen at minus 10%. And then, yeah, they don't even like humans, except if they are tasty, I guess. They really hate the Tikan the most, and the Xenox. But they also dislike spiders and monster insects. Yeah, so there isn't really. Yeah, fucking hell, sorry. Kind of interesting UI interference here. Hmm. Yeah, okay, so as you can see, no one really likes anyone in this game. Should probably have go back and put everything at peaceful. I already put everything on extra peaceful. I guess that's the best it gets. Anyway, play mode. You can play normal, future expansion. Okay, this explains. So this looking are probably part of one of those future expansions. So we can actually play without a planet. We shouldn't do this. We go to the standard empire. Okay, empire and government. Huh. Anyway, so today you get episode 28 of my Dominion 6 Late Age Calum Let's Play. And I've slowly been collecting and looking over all the hundreds of videos I recorded for other games. Some I've weeded out, but it's still a shitload of things, so expect a shitload of Dominion 6 videos for the foreseeable future. I will, of course, at some point stop playing Dominion 6 so much to have more time for some role-playing game updates. Yeah, there are some role-playing games I want to play. There's even a fun gimmick I thought up. And some audio recordings that I will trash because with my old headset the audio was even more awful, if you can imagine this. And that's actually it for the foreseeable future. So tomorrow we will have another stream. I hope I don't flake out on you again. That would be embarrassing. And next week I'll do my RPG streams on Tuesday evenings, well, in local time in Germany, so that's probably early morning in the US to give you a comparison. Basically, at the point where I'm sitting down here, it's probably something like, I don't know, maybe it's around lunchtime already in East Coast US, so basically like Greenwich Mean Time plus 1 hour or something. It's the Berlin time, and it's just a difference from, I think, less than 5 minutes to where I live. Something like that. So Friday, of course, will also have an evening stream that for most of the world, the English-speaking world at least, will be morning to lunchtime again. And the in-between days, so Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I will try to upload my Dominion 6 videos. And as soon as I've finished this current run, I'll try to make slots free for a game that has nothing to do with strategy because, wow, I've did so many Dominion 6 recordings. It's kind of silly. Like at one point I joined 3 games, started recording with the idea, I think I'm, oh wait, stop. First off, I join up for 3 of our games on our Discord, and then for some reason all 3 of them just launched like immediately. So this was stressful. Of course, I started recording them because it was fun. I thought, well, okay, there's a good chance that at least 2 games I will die in less than a year, less than 12 turns. But no, I was not even dying in the game where I did worst. So I felt compelled to complete this trifecta of stupid. With the games I had recorded before, of course, it was an insane, unmanageable workload for a single person. With a disability on top of it, I feel stupid, really. But I will drown you in those stupid videos, even if it takes me an entire decade to process them all. And I don't know. Since I have so many of them, I probably need at least 2 days in the week to upload them. If I have time, I'll probably put another upload slot on Sunday. Saturday is too much to do at home for me. I have to do grocery shopping for the week and all the other boring adult stuff you have to do if you live alone. And my working week is already filled up with other shit too. So yeah, so this is basically my plan for the future. Monday upload, Tuesday stream, Wednesday, Thursday upload, Friday stream, and maybe if I can help myself and stop fucking recording endless Dominion 6 games then and upload slot on Sunday. So I will probably try to mix things up and put, like, wait, okay, I have 6 days, 2 streaming days, 4 upload days. Yeah, I will probably try to alternate role-playing games and strategy games instead of making big chunks so that fans of one thing don't have to wait too long for the other shit. So okay. Hmm. Fuck. Now I need a game. A good name. Some games have a nice little auto um, name generator, but I guess Distant Worlds 2 is too hardcore for that. Oh, sorry. Okay, that's nice to see. Only government allowed by a space. Allow any. Okay, that seems weird. Well, we want a mercantile guide. Counter espionage is slightly less, but otherwise we have nice bonuses. Colony corruption reduction is reduced, but we get far more money, so this is all good. Leadership. 40 years. Man, I hope the T can have a nice long lifespan with that. That's basically for life, even for humans. Even a lot of the current dictators, I think, have had less than 40 years terms right now in real life. Um, okay, that sounds nice enough. So let's go to the starting situation. Oof. Okay, we have random. Okay, our homeworld can be fucking anything. A moon at a gas giant. That's exotic, especially since, okay, that's spoilers, but basically we aren't starting from a real homeworld, just from a world that is good for us. But enough time has passed in the setting that we don't really know our real homeworld. Planet with Moon is basically the classic because you don't want to live on a planet without moons. That's mostly a bad time for anything that's even slightly uh, related to Earth-like life. Like space crystals probably don't have to care, but everything made of meat will have a bad time without the moon for various different complicated astronomical reasons. Moon at gas giant. Oh, I have never tried this, so let's do this. Especially since it gives us probably a very good nearby fuel source. Home system, let's say it's agreeable because, hell, the colonists probably had something to say about this. Like, why would they settle a system that's shit? And why would the population thrive there enough to go back into space anyway? You can make challenge runs with Harsh if you want. So, home system, critical resources. I can't actually read this, so not insured is basically you will be fucked and have to go to other systems if you're really unlucky. Always insure is basically regardless of what kind of option you take, there will always be everything you need at least somewhere in your system. And we make a pre-warp start, that means we can actually go into another system. So we'll take this option. And then we have expansion. We can go to starting. We have a single small colony and no ships and bases we have to build up. We can go to an insanely thing here. Most of the galaxy has been explored, but we still we are still pre-warp. Okay, so there is some Oh yeah, but yeah, okay, we actually had pre-warp. Now we can choose it again or change our opinion. It's a bit weird, but why not? So we can maybe do a lot of weird shit. Like, okay, we have the highest level hyperspace technology research. We have an old empire. We are the Star Wars empire just with cute rodents. But let's stay sane here. Random is that's a mindfuck. Just hit this shit and yeah, you start with pre-warp technology, but you have a big space empire. What? I'm guessing the next choice should be well, let's not experiment right now. Starting location. Outer ring, standard. What the fuck? Nee, whoa, random. Oh, I didn't read this. So, inner ring or outer ring? Well, outer ring is nice because it means that while we can't expand into every direction, at least there can't be any enemies. Well, after our role playing that we are on the edges of a globular cluster, so beyond that edge is just 80,000 light years of empty space to the galactic disk or whatever. So we have on auto generate starting empires. 12 is probably a bit much. It's a tiny galaxy after all. So let's say 2 per ring, and us that means 3. Of course, I have no control where they're getting. Can also make our own. So like add this one. It's Space Granada. They also started pre-warp. The expansion is starting. Proximity is let's put them on distant. It's because it would be funny if we still stumble about them immediately. Government is, well, it's some kind of banana republic, so let's call it harmonious utopia. Yeah, you wish. I'll just call it republic. Why not? Home system is fairly agreeable because why not? And we haven't met them yet, so now let's add some bad guys like the big spiders here. They're also pre-warp because I'm not crazy. Proximity very distant, please. Government, I don't actually give a fuck, but it could be funny to give them a democracy. Will probably not hold on for very long. But their home system. Okay, let's give them some more problems because those guys are scary. And we haven't met them. Spideria, the paradise of Spy. Okay, so let's jogging around. So we of course are also an empire. So right now there are 3 auto-generated empires, those 2 chucklefucks, and we that's 6. So let's say that's 3 per pair, and of course there are still a lot of weird ass shit like pirates and alien monsters in space. So let's let's make save. Okay. Victory conditions. Let's make them all on. 75% territory is a lot, even especially since population is probably easier to achieve with the Tikan. Economy? Well, let's make it a bit challenging, because we have a mercantile guild, and I'm not sure I'm changing this. Victory threshold? Well, okay, probably too annoying to try for 100% of everything. But let's be fair, if we have 80% of the galactic economy, we probably also have a very big chunk of population. Of course, it's probably interesting to see what exactly the percentages mean. Like, if I go to 100%, okay, that makes sense. But 70% is this means 2? Or is the 66% and we still need all 3? Or I'll leave it like this. Let's see how much that already is. Oh wait, I have an explanation here, right? Percentage of victory conditions that must be fulfilled within the game. Okay, to win the game. So that okay, that's not actually telling me this. Does it mean 70% from 80? No, that makes no sense. So there are 3 victory conditions and race victory conditions. Oh, Okay, those two. Oh yeah, sorry. So this is story content. So let's leave it at 70%. So there is more than just the three big ones I overlooked at on. Start date off. Okay, so if this is off, it's just immediately. Well, okay, so wait, does this mean if I take the highest option, big fucking empire and highest technology, can I accidentally immediately win on a tiny map if I didn't place enough enemy empires? Time limit in years. Games finish after those games of. Okay, I probably it will be ending at some point. And we have story events like pre-warp home system and so on. Yeah, we can have this all active. Then Return of the Shakturi story. Well, this shit tends to annoy the fuck out of me, but it's interesting. Hmm. Okay, this will probably be the death of me in a bigger map sometime. Very late, since I have no idea when this will happen, let's put it on late. If this fucks me over, well, this is my first long game, then race-specific story events, colony events, yeah, that's all. And now start the game. We'll probably have to save, and then I have to stop this little video recording because I almost forgot. I actually just wanted to give you guys a little update about the channel and not actually start a new Let's Play. Also, my poor computer is old enough that it takes a while to generate a galaxy, and this is the second smallest galaxy possible. You really don't want to know how long I had to wait when I tried one of the bigger options. Holy shit. And it annoys the fuck out of me that the game doesn't want to run the music through my headset. It's seriously something I've never encountered. I wonder if it's a bug. God, you can't hear it, but my poor computer is running like an old Steam engine right now. Fuck. Probably So one thing that scares me is sometimes space strategy games have the habit of crashing on my machine if I tap out to, for example, end the recording. Of course, in theory, I could just cut the end of the recording if we have to wait too long. Yeah, that's also an option. Anyway, Stellaris, for example, I bought this game when it came out, and for fucking 8 years or something, regardless of how many patches and DLCs and expansions were mixed into the pot, every time I launched the game and then tapped out, the game would crash. So it would be say, okay, it takes ages to load for some reason, especially on the first time it starts. So I would say, okay, 33%, oh god, it's still running for 10 minutes now. So I would tap out and crash. So I would have to basically leave the game running for something absurd like a full 10 minutes. We'll slowly creeped towards completion while I did something else, like reading a book, for example. Then I came back and it would run completely normally. But now it's going actually fairly fast, like 2 to 3 minutes instead of the insanely long time. And it seems that whatever fixed the slowdown at start also fixed the crashing issue. So we are now the conventional Warmire. With a nice little Zelda triangle and a star in the middle, that's our planet. Our faction is known as the conventional Warmire. Our government is a capital gold. We are the Tigan. Tigan have natural skills in mining, damage control. Yeah, we all know this already. Leader is Queeky. You tapped Queeky. That's too cute. He is Eproi Kotum. Okay, that's an awful name. I have to rename this instantly. The Vokal system. I think I can rename that too. Oh, nearby is the giant planet Vokal 6. Also nearby is the volcanic moon Toyhasa. Well, we can put many mining stations on volcanic shit, but as you have seen in the beginning, we can't actually settle there without researching it first. Volcanoes are a bit too unnice to our little rodent feet. Faction has primitive technology. We are just beginning to take our first steps into space. Explore, expand, and conquer. What the game doesn't tell you is there are a lot of early game um, events that will help you out, so it goes a little bit faster than you do, so you don't have to be scared. Except if you actually switch them all off, then yeah, then you should be scared. So let's get started. Okay, right now everything is paused, so you can do something here. And also let me try if I... Oh yeah, I can use the camera. Oh yeah, this is an ugly fucker. The fuck is this? Pink. Well, okay, it's kind of cute. We have another moon here. And just to show you why pre-warp starts are actually feasible, this is a star system. And it will take weeks, if not months, to cross over sublight speeds to other planets. So we do have to research at least a precursor to FTL drives, full strategic level FTL drives, to just get over to there to those other planets in a timely manner. This is an awful rocky planet. Holy shit. Can also get a lot of event and other goodies by just exploring this. And I hope we don't have pirates here, because as you can see, a star system in this game is huge. Fucking huge. And let's see, unexplored. But I hope we have a fuel source there, because that would help us out being close to our home planet. And if we, yeah, this is all empty space we have to cross. And then nearby we have star systems we can only explore if we have FTL drives. And the first generation things are fuel hogging bastards. Really, the only reason you want the first generation FTL drive is so you can exploit your home system faster. But you really should do that first and research the first real warp drive first before going out of there. Otherwise, you will play a completely different game from everyone else, and you might have a bad luck. So, because we have these weird double rings, or double spheres if we are really creative with our imagination, we can basically expand in several directions except the one going to the next ring. I have to first get to those systems and build fuel stations there if there are no viable planets to get to the second ring. And fuck, there are still some planets hard to reach straight in the middle. But yeah, this here is our imaginary actual globular cluster. It's off limits. Then we have the border region and the cluster. And of course, there's a spiral in the background. Just ignore this. This is all my made up headcanon here. And yeah, okay. I have to do other shit. And I already have far too many stuff to do. But hey, I tell you what. If you actually are interested in this, I'll be willing to make an actual Let's Play out of this. Just drop a comment or something if you're interested in someone explaining Distant World 2 very badly to you while playing as Space Rats. Otherwise, I will put this on the back burner and come to it. I think the next time I'll be willing to make a channel update in the weirdest way I can think of. So, anyway, this is Libluini, and I'm signing off. And hopefully, I can learn how to make this game accept my headset so there is no audio issue the next time around. So, anyway, Libluini out.